Now, so I'm here today with Pauline Martin, and your grandmother Pauline was Bridget Minch, and
Yes.
she was a midwife in the Castlebar area.
Mm.
And you'll a little bit about her today. So we
Where
might
would you
start
like
with.
me to start?
So we'll probably start from the beginning, where she was born, what year she was born, and we kind of where she came in the family, and we'll go on from there. Is that all right? So I'll just
Yeah.
leave this back here, so you won't have to be worrying about it.
Yeah. Well, she was born in a place called County Sean, near Crimlin,
Okay.
Turla, that area. And
What year was she born, Pauline?
1874.
Okay. And was she the eldest in the family, or
No, though she had.
a few siblings?
Oh, she had brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And one of her brothers had already emigrated, and he was in New York. But then she was interested in going out, like, you know, the way, and her sisters went out as well. And they went to Philadelphia, and she met her husband, Michael Minch. He was from Kildare, and she met him there. They got married, and they had their eldest son. They came back to Ireland, back to Castlebar, and I have a thing there that they tried to open up a pub there. They looked for a license and turned down, and she looked for it and turned down, and then his people in Kildare offered them a farm, but no, they wouldn't. They went back to America. But before they went, their first son was born, Thomas. And then she had my mother, my sister Elizabeth, and John. In the meantime, they lost a baby, Mary, and Thomas died of meningitis when he was 10. And then her son, Michael, I have a letter from him. He had to go to Mount Alto, it was called. It was a sanatorium where he got TB. And I have a letter from him to her.
What made her stay then in Castlebar if the pub didn't work out for them?
They went back to, they went back to
America and had them all out there, was it?
Well, Thomas was born in Castlebar, the eldest, but the rest of them were all born in America.
And they went back to Philadelphia then?
Yeah, they went back to Philadelphia.
So what brought her back home?
Well, when the husband died, he was only 32, I think it was, 37,
young man.
And she was there left with three children.
TB or?
TB,
TB as well,
yeah.
So she came home for family support, really?
She came back, oh yes.
But you were saying earlier a little bit about his family, just to bring him in a little bit. The Minch were a well-off family from
They were supposed to be a well-off family. Yeah. And his brother Matthew was in America as well.
Yeah.
And he lent her the money to come home.
Oh.
You know, and so I remember it was 1947 before she paid it back.
Oh.
I was with my sister going up to the bank.
She wouldn't have had it.
No, but she
you know, she came home with a young family, so it would have took her a while to get on her feet. Yeah. But it still remained in her head to pay back the money, though.
So she, well, they corresponded a lot, and I remember they used to send us comics and things like that. Oh. But when she came back...
what year roughly do you think she came back?
We have all that. Have you that on the...
We have it on the side and put the children.
So would it be early 1900s, I'd say?
My mother was born in 1904 in America.
In America. So it'd be the 1920s,
I thought you had that written down in the thing when she came back.
He was a motorman, he was driving the trams in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So he would have been there at the time. There was a big strike there in 1910, he was there at that time. And then he died in 1912.
Yeah, so it was after that.
1912, after 1913.
So she's coming back to a very different Ireland.
Yeah, 1913.
1916. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the 1901 census here. And they lived in New Antrim in Castlebar. They got married in America. But, and I see...
Well, she went on then anyway to train to be a midwife.
So when she came back, she travelled in 1913.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
And then she left her children with her mother in Townley Sean, the three children, and she went to train in the Coombe. Now, Neil showed you the receipt.
Yes, imagine.
Isn't that something to have that?
Unbelievable. Imagine to think it's 110 years old.
Yeah.
You might say.
I'm glad I took that out of the house from there. And
wasn't she a brave woman though to have all the children coming back from America and going on then to make a life for herself and her children? Really.
And like, I don't know who ever put it into her head like to be a nurse. I don't know.
Well, I suppose it was paid employment that time, where there wasn't many.
No, not for women, you know. But like when you think of her, a widow going off and training as
so she could possibly have to work somewhere else for a little while before she would have got a dispensary then near home, you know. But so, she was lucky to get back to Castlebar.
So when she came back, then she spent a while down in Ballycroy and left the children with her mother. And there she brought Pat Lindsay, Joe Lennon, all those TDs. There's I have that. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I have what you call it. Joe Lennon had a thing in the local paper about her. I'll show it to you again, but anyhow. But then when she came back then, and her brother got married, and being the eldest son, he was entitled to the place. So she had to farm out the children to different lands.
They didn't want them around. No.
That's the photograph over there.
That was the times it was
yeah. So then when she set up, as I said, she had, what do you call it, delivered Charlie Haughey.
Yeah.
And I have it in his book. I'll show it to you there now. He's mentioned her.
He has not, has he?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I must have a look at that.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And Henry, of course, Henry.
Whereabouts did she work from in Castlebar? Was it on
From her house.
Her house. So where was her little house?
In Tucker Street, it was called.
Tucker Street. Was that like a dispensary, or was it her own home?
Oh, it's her own home.
Her own home. Okay.
And then we moved back in to live with her. Yeah. There were 7 of us in it. And my father died when he was 42. But we lived with her, and I used to, all these women would come, and she'd bring them in to sit room. This would be before they had the babies. And I used to be listening at them. And in the sitting room,
all the news.
See what was happening. You know how you wouldn't be told that.
Curious.
Oh yeah, and my sister Monica was younger than me, and whatever way, she used to keep her bag in the sitting room, this Gladstone bag kind of thing. And Monica ran in, Mommy, come quick, the bag is open, all the babies will come out. She used to think the babies were in the bag. And then it just be off in the middle of the night, there'd be somebody hammering at the door, Nurse Minch. There you have started, come quick.
Yeah. So any time of day or night they were called?
Any time of day or night.
So this would have been like a little antenatal room, where they come in, get checked out?
Yeah, she had the notice on the window. Nurse Bridget Minch, SRN, state. No, it is certified, what did they call them? There was a CMB as well, wasn't there? But anyhow, SRN.
Probably certified midwives board or something,
is it? Yeah, that's what she was on. And she used to have a little brown suitcase with christening clothes, our christening clothes. And if anybody was struck, she'd give them the clothes.
Sure, that was a real common thing. But there was a lot of superstition around the christening clothes as well, that if they were borrowed, it was luck for the baby as well.
Oh, I never heard that now. Yeah.
Because there was another midwife in Dublin did the same thing, and they reckon there was about 200 babies were christened out of the christening clothes. But then you see they saw a lot of poverty with these poor old creatrines. And so they were only trying to help them. They were awful kind to these women, the midwives.
Like, the travellers, they didn't call them travellers. Sometimes they would call her Like, they would only go look for somebody if they were very badly, and she'd
Yeah.
bring their christening clothes with them
Yeah.
for them as well, you know. She had great time for them. She found them great people.
Yeah. They were tough. They were so
gee,
hardy.
yeah,
And
but
the
they had
women,
an
I
awful
interviewed
life.
a traveller lady, and God, my God, they had it hard.
Yeah.
They did a lot of their own.
It was Mahon,
And
Mrs.
their faith is
Mahon,
all
yeah.
they had.
Yeah. Oh, you know, they were very hard done
Hardy
by, I
women.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
but
they
they were
were.
awfully hard done by,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But sort of, then, they call it Alzheimer's now,
Mm.
but then senile decay.
Mm.
And she went on a call, and she forgot about it the next day. So my mother went, and somebody else was looking for her, and she told them, "We don't care, we always had Nurse Minch, and we'll have her now."
Ah. And how old was she now at this stage?
She died when she was 85, I think. She
And
died
there
in
was-
1957.
And they
Yeah.
were still calling on her.
They would be still looking for her.
Imagine.
Well, then, no, but around, well,
The
they
40s,
stopped.
30s and 40s.
At the 40s, yeah, but we'd say in the 50s now, the hospitals, they started going
Yeah,
into
they did.
hospitals.
Start from her.
And that was.
So did she go around on a little bike as well?
Oh, there's a thing there about the cousins when they come in that, you see, all the sisters and that, they lived, they weren't, to be out the country, and they'd always come in after Mass into our house. I used to love listening to their
Stories.
you know what I mean? And
And did she ever talk about Charlie Haughey or any of them now when she was there for the
oh, she had
delivery?
great respect for Charlie Haughey.
Yeah.
And my mother used to always claim that it was on account of Mrs. Haughey that the free travel came in for old age
But
people.
yeah, all right.
Yeah.
The over 65s.
Yeah.
It was her the push for it.
That was her thing. But as I said,
It's written
the
in
books
book
are over there.
Yeah.
Do you want to look at them now?
We'll look at them in a while. We'll do it in a while. So have you any stories from when she was doing deliveries, like people she would have went to, or had she any you know, unusual stories apart from, of course, Charlie Haughey?
Well, no, she she wouldn't talk about her
No.
people.
No.
You know. And then we were young, and like, I remember asking somebody, "How is it that you see some women and they're fat, and then you see them again when they're thin?"
Oh, yeah, the baby.
We didn't know about pregnancy, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, it was all hush, you know. They
Yeah,
wouldn't discuss anything like that in
No,
front of
very professional.
yeah. you
Did
know.
she have a uniform, Pauline?
Oh yes, it's described in that thing there that Neil gave you.
What you reading it here?
Yeah.
I don't know which one of you wrote that.
Mommy Minch. Small, stocky woman with piercing blue eyes and hard set mouth. For a small woman, she was always expected to be obeyed, and she was seldom disappointed. I'll rule and I'll boss.
Oh God!
Is that what she said?
Oh, I found her very hard one time.
Well, sure, she had to be.
Oh,
devil.
well, like what she had gone through, like coming home with small children like that from America and going training,
Yeah.
you know.
So she had her hair grey all the time, sculpted up from her face in a solid bun at the back. I never remember her washing it, but every week brushed it thoroughly, almost viciously, with
I think
bay
that's
rum and
Monica.
olive
I
oil.
think. Yeah. I was just going to say, I always remember the bay rum and olive oil went on the hair. Yeah.
Yeah. Always scrupulously clean before they went off.
Oh, yeah, with the bay rum.
Do you
and
remember?
that.
You probably weren't allowed to touch the bag, were you?
Oh no, it was out in the sitting room, like the good room, and it was in it, and there was a lovely photograph, and I don't know whether my brother took it of her with little Thomas, who died in a little sailor suit. I always remember that. But
So what was her clothes? Would it be a long dress? Would she have had an apron or a coat? Or?
oh, it's there like she wore navy for the christenings. They always go to the christenings,
Okay.
and she never wear anything below her elbow.
So she
You
would
know.
scrub up,
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
clean.
yeah.
So short
And the
sleeve
white
dresses.
apron, and it had to be starched and all this. My mother used to have to do that.
Yeah.
But like
And a long coat for winter nights.
oh yes, and
That
the
kind-
hat and the hat.
And the hat. So what was the hat like? Was it like a
You know, they all wore them.
like a nurse's hat? Is it or
No, just an ordinary.
just an ordinary hat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
At
a navy
at
hat.
that time.
yeah.
At that time.
And she would never wear black. It was too aging.
Okay, so it's navy. That's
Navy.
interesting.
Everything
I
was
think a lot
navy.
of them were navy as well.
But she said that black was too aging. And it's like that stuck in my head. I never
So would the
wear
coat
black.
be like a gabardine material?
No, it'd be the woolen coat.
A woolen coat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and laced up shoes.
Yeah.
And the stockings would be rolled down here and the money would be on top of the stocking. You know,
Oh no! And do you know what she was paid at that time, roughly?
I haven't
don't,
a
you
clue.
don't, they never talk about
No.
that.
Like, now, in my time, like I was born in 1940,
Yeah.
so you can imagine how,
But you would have got a good run. You were kind of a good teenager, like before she passed, so you would have good memory of her.
I was 17 like
Yeah.
when she died. Yeah.
Yeah.
17,
Did
yeah.
anybody else in the family take up the midwifery then?
No,
No.
I think it pushes off. My aunt tried it. No, my aunt, she trained for a nurse midwife. She didn't like it and she never got it. So
It's
nobody.
her daughter Elizabeth, was it?
Yeah,
So you said she's buried
in Castlebar.
in Castlebar beside
She's
Charlie.
buried in in Castlebar town.
in Castlebar town.
Yeah, she's buried with my father, my aunt, my mother. They're all there.
All there.
And I've had Martin there, Neil, haven't I?
Oh, we'll get it now in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
But
take pictures of that.
no, she used to talk about the Haughey's.
Yeah.
They had to go back to Dublin, like they didn't have much money, the Haughey's, you know.
Yeah.
He didn't have a pension or something, the father, I don't know. But he was in the army there. But
Was he an army sergeant, kind of, was it? Or?
I don't know now, it's all in that there now. But I'll show you the other stuff now.
And you were
That's
saying you're connected to Enda Kinney. So will you tell me what the connection is?
she was a grandnephew of
He
his
was a-
father. His father was a nephew of Mommy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd be a
Was that
grandnephew.
through marriage, or was it her sister's child, or
It'd be through her brothers.
her brothers?
Yeah,
Yeah. Her brother's
John
son.
Kenny was the name. Yeah, her
Yeah.
brother. Henry was her nephew. Like, yeah,
So you had great connections.
yeah.
Did she deliver Henry then?
She would have. Yeah,
She delivered him
Henry. Yeah,
as well. It's amazing, isn't it?
yeah.
Like Castlebar would have been a big enough town now, so she would have delivered
Oh, she did. Like, and there was
hundreds
another.
of them.
Yeah, and like what you call it, christening then was a big event, you know, and they all got midwives always went to the christenings.
Yeah, I'm only getting into this now. I think because the mother had to stay in bed, and the baby was always wanting to be christened. They wanted them christened fairly
Quickly,
quick, in
very
case anything
quickly, yeah.
happened. The midwife generally took on that role as the mother in the church.
Yeah. They had to be christened very
Yeah.
quickly, you
Yeah.
know. But then they'd have to go back to be churched.
That's right.
I was churched, imagine, after him.
Him being the lovely Neil.
Yeah, you absolved all your sin. Like the man, of course, he was all right. Like,
I know. My nan was the same, but she wouldn't go back and be churched. She was a bit bold now.
yeah, she was right.
She says, this is the 50s, she says,
Yeah.
if you church him, you can church me, because I didn't do it by myself. She says, so
Big girl.
that's it. She was an awful
Oh,
diplomat.
this is a humiliating thing.
So I'm in good company here with the diplomat, I think.
You know, but
So you'd have lovely memories of her. Even though she was stern, but she had her
she
way.
was very stern. But
Yeah.
like, it was a woman of her time. And
Yeah.
like, what I used to enjoy was the other aunts, her sisters, would come in after the mass, you know.
Yeah, you'd be all chatting.
Yes, and you'd hear all about long times, and there was Aunt Kate used to put beetroot on her thing
For rouge. Yeah.
and black polish in her hair.
Oh, they're great treats.
Oh, she loved life. She was fantastic. And then the other sister, her husband died after her daughter was born, and then they made a match for her, you know, because there was no place for her. And she married a widower, and he had a family. And her wish was always to be buried with her first love, and she was.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Oh, it was, you know. But Mommy then, she had a rupture, what did they call it in the stomach?
Appendix, is it? Or
No.
Hernia?
Hernia, yeah. And like she was very friendly with all the doctors. So the doctor said to Mommy, like, she'd want to go into hospital. No way would she go into hospital. And then he said, well, now you should get the last rites for her. So Father McHugh came and gave her the last rites. And all the sisters came in, and they were so surprised. She was sitting there in the throne, as we call it. And Father McHugh was saying, now you come to a certain age, you should have it. Now, are you listening to that? Like, it has nothing to do with her, like. You know, like,
She was a pure devil.
Oh.
Stubborn.
oh,
Yeah.
you know.
So would she who helped her out now when she'd be off doing the midwifery? When she got, do you know who helped her? Was your mother, like, I suppose when her children were young, would her mother have helped her an awful lot, I suppose, at the time? When she'd have to go and do the deliveries?
Well, you see, they were with the aunts.
Yeah.
And by the time then, I suppose, they came back to live with her, my mother, she was the eldest, like.
They were well up, like.
They'd be able to. You know,
They'd
and
mind
neighbours were great that time too. Do you know what I mean?
They'd know she was gone to a delivery and they'd watch out.
Yeah. You know, oh yes. And I remember, like we lived, as it was a street in the middle, and there was a pub down at the thing, and there was this fellow home from England, and he was all ready for a big fight, and all the people gathered around. Down she tattled, you know, she was a small woman. I know, I said, now, your wife needs you now, why don't you go home? And off he went.
But they had a respect for her.
Oh, they had.
You see, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
There was a certain respect there, wasn't there, too?
oh, yes, they were highly thought of.
Yeah.
You know, I suppose people depended on them.
They did. They had a huge trust. The community really needed them.
I suppose, when did the home delivery stop like that?
I suppose it would have been kind of the 40s and 50s when
It
hospitals
could be,
started
yeah.
coming into it.
Yeah.
But then it still went right up to the 70s. It depended on the women and how they felt and what was available, I suppose, in their community at the time. But a lot of it was that.
Like, we were all born at home. Imagine your grandmother delivering you.
Your granny delivered all you as well?
Yeah.
Imagine. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Oh, so
Well,
nice.
how did my poor mother feel?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, when you're there, it wouldn't matter who could be the Pope.
Well, my mother was a very, very quiet woman.
Yeah.
I suppose on account of the mother being bossy, you know, she was very.
Yeah.
So wasn't she?
Oh,
Well,
saint.
Yeah.
she was. Yeah, everybody.
Just a lady.
As my father rest used to say, if Maud was going into heaven, there's no hope for the rest of us.
Aww.
Oh no, she was a great
Lady.
woman, like, and had to rear all of us, you know.
Yeah. Isn't it funny the two of them were widowed, very
Very
young. So what did you say your grandfather was, Neil, when he was? Oh, your great.
Oh, you.
Oh, over in America, he was working with
He was a motorman, it was called.
a motorman. Oh yeah, so dealing with cars really.
No, trams.
Oh, the trams. Oh.
Well, do you know what I was watching Neil last night, Googling that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Is great. All the information he got about the strikes over there and at that time.
You're so lucky to have all this stuff.
She whipped it out and it was great. She whipped it out at Tucker Street. Wasn't she right? Because it would have been burnt or something.
Yeah,
That's
but-
great.
So this is her paying back her few bob.
Yeah.
That was paying for the funeral. His funeral.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Where's my glasses?
Look at these. My gosh. You're so lucky to have all this. You're rich.
$15. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's awful interesting.
Do you
That's
have...
her husband's
Oh
funeral.
my God. And that was done. Is that America?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. I see it
Yeah.
up here now. Oh, we'll take a picture of that. That's absolutely unbelievable.
What was that for, Neil?
So you see, I love to just build a story around her, you know.
But
That was paying the church for the funeral.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God.
don't you have a letter that was sent from somebody inviting her over to America in the first place, Pauline?
Yes.
And they have that from
That was her brother.
inviting her over to America.
Well, I wouldn't call it inviting, like it was taken for granted that they'd be going over, you know, and about her to meet this other, she was a 17-year-old as well, to meet that she'd be company going over.
I'll take a copy of these as well. I'd love to build a story around her.
Email all that, yeah.
Well, Neil, isn't there,
That's a funny read there, isn't it? With the women and Lenihan.
yeah,
What's this?
if
now?
you had time now.
Oh, I have as much time as you like.
No, but
You're here for lunch.
Were you?
this about, you know, In the Dáil by John Healy, and it's brought up there about her.
So, what paper would this have been? Do you
The
know?
Independent, I would imagine.
The Independent. Or will I write this down now?
We didn't get the Times that time.
Oh.
It should be the Independent. And the press was a Fianna Fáil paper.
Independent, and she's mentioned here somewhere. Let me see if I can find her. What's this now? Oh my God. What paper was that in now?
I don't know.
I'd
It's
say
not
probably
from that. Is that
Freelance
Neil?
Why Lenihan is on Kenny's side. These are brilliant. I can try and find the originals of these now. I'll take pictures of all of these and just have
Yeah.
them, and scanning
And-
would be better, but just to
Oh,
have
yeah,
it,
right, yeah,
just
yeah.
my own research, I'll
Yeah.
take the little pictures of them.
That's
The
from her,
original.
when her husband was in. It was Malta, that's the letter he sent to her.
Her husband sent her.
Yeah, from the sanatorium.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that unbelievable?
And that's from her Matthew.
So this is
Her
from the
brother-in-law.
sanatorium when he had, well, we think it's TB.
You
We're just
think it
presuming
was
it's the
TB,
time.
yeah.
God help her. Didn't they suffer terrible though?
And that's
Oh my
another
God.
letter from him.
27th, 1912. Oh gosh. I look at the little thing in the back. Mrs Minch.
Oh yeah, this is the one I was looking for, yeah. Now this is a very interesting letter. This is like from her brother about her coming over to America
Okay.
and like about meeting this. That now is an interesting letter.
He's trying to give them an opportunity in America, really, or is it a
Yeah,
better
to bring them
opportunity?
over to America, yeah. And that's his taxes.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. I think that's. I'm sure.
These are unbelievable. You could spend a lifetime sometimes trying to get one thing.
And that's and it was great. I went over to Philadelphia to the graveyard and the houses that they lived in. I have the photographs of
All
them.
still
now.
there. All
Yeah.
still there.
Well, that's yeah.
Imagine. I love letters. There's something very personal about them, isn't there?
Is that the best way to keep them now? They're fading a bit, like, aren't they?
It's the only way, really.
Yeah.
And out of light.
I'm dependent on this fella now, you know.
God help you. Tell her what the plan is, Mum.
What's the plan?
When I die, he's not going to tell anybody, and he's putting me down in the freezer and collect me pension.
Oh, Jesus, Mary, just Pauline, your gas.